Laura mentioned about 250 transactions that we do every single year. That's the team of 4 that you have been listening to. But I also have a little bit of a larger team, and we do a little over 750 transactions year over year for the last decade. I tell you all that not to impress you. I really don't care what you think about me. I got over that a long time ago. The reason I tell you, though, is because I want to impress upon you where all this data is coming from. Not something I read in a book, not me just making it up, from actual experience. The last 20 minutes to 30, you're going to really realize quickly I like the sound of my own voice. I implore you to be like children. Ask a lot of questions about anything that Laura touched on, anything that Luke touched on, anything that I'm going to touch on. Maybe it's a deal that you're going through. Maybe it's a mindset question. I want you to be ultra selfish like kids. Why? Because before you can be selfless, you have to be selfish. How can you give something to someone if you don't have it yourself? Okay? I think the biggest white space right now in our industry is working with investors. I understand the list to last thought process, working with first-time home buyers, great. However, that's where the rest of the 76,000 agents are playing. And so in the last decade, the biggest shift I made was completely changing the target market of people that we dealt with, which were investors. Why? There's not enough agents talking about it, number one. Number two, most people, probably why you're here today, is to get out of the rat race. Like, why did you choose to come here on a Thursday afternoon? There's something. Maybe just to kind of get this out of the way as well, so I can reverse engineer the conversation. Who follows me on content, like social media? 3 of you. That always is a little bit of an ego hit. It's okay. It's okay. 5 years or more in the business. 5 years or more. So majority of you are, just so I articulated the question, are 5 years and less in the business? And you could just nod like, yeah, okay. With investors, number one, people want to get out of the rat race. Number two, once they get hooked on the drug of investing into real estate, it's the best crack in the world. They want to do it over and over and over again. So while most of the agents are working with buyers and sellers, safe to say, 2023, once to every 5 to 7 years they're going to be transacting. I'm sure if there's a Lowe's or a Home Depot around here, we can tell that the lineups are huge on the weekend. Tells us that they're staying in their homes longer. So once every 5 to 7 years, you're hoping someone in your network is actually going to do business with you. Or when you work with an investor, they want to transact 5 to 7 times in a year. The only obstacle that you're going to run into is how do you get them financing? You have creative options. Luke touched on pre-construction. We were not here to tell you to be pre-construction specialists and exclusively only sell pre-construction, but everyone here has to have a goal. Okay, can we play a little? Has to have a goal to do 10 in the next 12 months. Just 10. We did 10 last weekend. Okay? 10. It's not a lot. Might sound like a lot, but whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. 10. You know what 10 means to everybody in this room, in the Greater Toronto Area? $250,000 in top-line revenue. You take the talk that Luke mentioned, that pre-construction masterclass that we did. Listening to it once is nonsense. Your brain, even today, is only going to comprehend 10% of the shit that I say. It cannot pick up on anything more than that. The second time you hear something, it jumps to about 22 to 25%. So I implore you to listen to it at least until you can teach it to someone else. Why? Because then you've actually mastered it. And the reason you want to listen to that pre-construction masterclass is not because I want your views, because it is exactly the scripts that we've been using to do over 2,000 units in the last decade. Okay? If you continuously listen to that, you will be able to speak just like Luke, who didn't know his head from his ass when he came and met me a couple of years ago. He deals with all of our pre-construction business. Okay? So if you're concerned, though, that you're not going to be able to deal with the buys and the sells, I got fantastic news for you. When you become more of an advisor and not a salesperson to your target market of investors, you know what a funny thing happens? They start to tell you all the basic stuff, what they think their home is worth, how much money they have in the account. But it gets to phase 2. Shit, Jazz, I didn't want to say it while my partner was here, but I got some money underneath the mattress too. Hey, Jazz, just want to let you know, I got some money in mutual funds and stocks. I've been seeing my 4 to 5% return, which is nice. But I want to actually invest that. Hey, Jazz, you know what? My niece, she wants to sell her condo. So when you help somebody sell a condo, what is that? It's called a... Are we fucking agents in this room? Like, for real. What is it called when we sell someone's condo or home? A listing. Okay?
It's not a trick question.
It's not a trick question. I know my face could be mesmerizing. It's called a listing. Ding, you get the listing. Hey, my buddy, my brother-in-law, he's thinking about smart sizing, moving up or down in terms of the size of the home. Can you help with that as well? Everything that we've spoken to you about so far, guys, again, comes out of sheer experience. 2 of you in this room today are going to do the events and talk about pre-construction. Just 2 of you, I know my numbers. The problem is I don't know which fucking 2 of you are going to do it, so I have to keep coming back and talking to agents in large groups. Because the truth, if you're wondering why we do this, not for our sanity and our health. We do this, in all honesty, because I'm bored, after 2 decades, explaining the difference between a 1-bedroom and a 1-bedroom plus den, listing people's properties. That shit doesn't fulfill me as much. Love the 25G commissions. Not going to hide from that. My clients know it, by the way. I don't hide from it, but that doesn't fulfill me. It's changing 2 of your lives. I just don't know which one. It's getting that email or that DM that says, that day, March whatever we're at today, you came and saw me in Oakville, and that's the day that I decided to take action and put on an educational event. For all the confidence you see me speak with today, the first time I did an event, if this was the front of the stage, some way, somehow, I found myself in the corner. Nervous. If you listen to my first podcast, I'm 211 episodes deep. The first podcast, which I did 3 years ago, I'm 41, so 37, 38, sounded like I was going through puberty. Okay? So I understand that you might not be confident right now. The only way that you get confident in life is through experience. You have to do it. And you're going to suck the first one, period. You're going to suck. Your event's not going to go as well as you thought. That first podcast episode that you do, it's not going to be good. But that becomes now your new starting point. So with investors, you need to educate. You cannot be the sleazy salesperson with the shit that used to work in the fucking 70s and 80s. Hey, bro, you thinking about buying and selling a house? the chances of the stars, and sorry if I didn't sign a contract that I wasn't allowed to throw F-bombs or anything, so we're good. And if you're not liking the F-bombs, you should leave now, because more are coming. Because I'm just getting into my groove. Hey, you thinking about buying, selling, and investing? The chances of the stars aligning that day when you called somebody and they say, oh, I was actually just thinking about that yesterday. Happens. 70s, 80s, like early 90s stuff. 2023 and beyond, you have to give first. And give more. And give more. And then you can have the audacity to ask. Now there's ways that you can give. One of them being events. Where I implore most people to go, though, is through content. Video content. Audio being the second, and third being the written word. Pretty much in that order. Now, when I say you got to do videos, that's where I lose majority of people. And I know why. Because, just like you, I had insecurities. I have a wandering eye still that the doctors couldn't fix. I am the color that I am. I can't spell half the words I fucking said to you today. My mind sometimes moves way faster than my lips. It comes through as a stutter. But I had to get over it because I came to realize that if I, as a salesperson, can get back some leverage, then I have to take action on this. What do I mean by get back the leverage? Well, as you go into your listing appointments and your buyer appointments and talk about your average DOM and your list to price ratio and selling and all that kind of stuff, which I understand why we were taught that, you spend 40 minutes just trying to build the credibility. What video does is that it builds it for you on its own. And when people, the marketplace, can actually listen to you and see you and make an informed decision themselves if they want to do business with you at 3 o'clock in the morning in their pajamas at home, and then they call you or come to your office, that's called leverage. Because if they saw you or heard you and decided to book an appointment with you, there's something that they like about what you said. Rather than trying to build that 40 minutes of authority when you're talking to people. And the best way to do content and the easiest way to do content is through a video podcast. Not to become the next Joe Rogan, or not to have the next CNBC show or CNN show. It's to control the narrative of what the media is doing really good at. I don't blame your clients, even at times my clients, when they're scared shitless about their home prices going down by 50%. Because CTV, CBC, 680 News, CP20, they do a fantastic job. But when our clients see that home sales are down by 50%, which is true, what they hear is, I just bought a house last week. My value's down by 50%? Holy shit. See, the best thing to do, though, is to have conversations and record them on video. You don't need scripts. And for everybody who's worried about the way that they look and the way that they sound, here's how I got over it, and here's how you're gonna get over it. You look the fucking way you look, and you sound the way you sound. You can't do shit about that. So what we might as well do is use it to our advantage. Your insecurities are and is your uniqueness. Let the world see it. God knows we don't need another jazz Takhar out there. But we need to see Kat. And we need to hear more of Laura. For all my women in the room, I strongly urge you to search Laura Stewart on YouTube. She does a show specifically sitting down with women in business, in entrepreneurship, and leadership, and a plethora of other things that I don't really... Sorry?
Checks in the mail.
Yeah. Search her on YouTube. What you want to do is record that video of 30 minutes. And I started this about 3.5 years ago, podcasting. And for my first 17 episodes, I did audio only. Why? Because just like you, I was scared of the camera. I need 17. I'm a little disappointed that my team only brought 2 today, because I like more angles and more videos. But I kept it on audio, because I was like, there's no way I can let them see me. And then I had an interview with Ryan Serhant in New York, and the team said, we got to record this. This is nonsense. We got Ryan Serhant. Let's bring him on. Let's show that you're with him. I was like, I don't give a shit who it is. I'm not doing video. It's just not happening. After them kind of pushing me more, I decided to put it on camera. If you go see that video, you will notice for the 45-minute conversation him and I have in his office, I never look at the camera. Not once. Not once. But the magical part happened when I brought it back to my team. 45-minute conversation, and I got a little over 35 pieces of content out of it that we snipped into 8 to 9 little videos. We took out the audio and obviously put that out on podcast platforms. But then we took still images of quotes that were said, and we could put that on social media. We took the audio transcript and put that into a service that actually transcribes everything into the written word. Voila, we had a blog. We also had an email that we could send out to our database. And so we ended up with about 30 to 35 pieces of content. Now for everyone in the room who's thinking, what the fuck is an audio this and what's this? And if you have a 16-year-old in your life, you're taken care of. I promise you, okay? A 16-year-old will do this in their sleep. A couple of months ago, I was watching my 16-year-old post a video on TikTok, and she did it in like 37 seconds. I started to wonder, why do I have all these full-time videographers and editors on my team? But I love them, that's why we keep them. I understand that you don't even know how social media might work, or TikTok, or Instagram, or YouTube. But for majority of people in this room, you probably had a little tough time driving. We remember this, 10 and 2, mirror check, side mirrors, belt. Now, driving like this, you learn over time. Cell phone, on a call. So I understand that you don't know some of these platforms, but you have to figure them out. I'll give you some resources though, because I want to help you today. Right here, scan this today. This will change your business. I promise you. Scan this or go to the site. Guys, I'm giving you my $5 million business in a box, and 3 of you are taking out your fucking phones. I'm being honest with you. I got nothing to sell you here. Scan this and get my shit. Get my scripts, get all my stuff. Okay? There's some things that you could pay for at some point. You want to do it, great. If not, I really don't care. You can tell. Like, I know that the pie is big enough. When you eat, I don't go to the bathroom. Everybody get that? When you eat something, it doesn't make me go to the bathroom. So, meaning, I really have come to understand that life is abundant. Okay? There's enough to go around. I want you to go get yours, because it doesn't take off my plate. Now, when I was speaking about getting started with video and giving you resources, has everybody got some resources? Here's another one. These sites are amazing, and you need to get very comfortable with it. Whoever's taking notes, take notes. GOO You don't know how to start a podcast? Google the fucking thing. You don't know how to post on TikTok? Figure it out. I'm not going to waste your time on a Thursday afternoon and give you nonsense stuff. I'm here to come here, hopefully inspire the 2-3 people to actually take actions. The number one thing that you need to do, aside from everything that we spoke about, is database. If you don't have a CRM, you should leave the business. For real. Because there's no way that you're going to be able to stay in contact with people, know what they bought, know their daughters' names, know their pets' names, actually send out mass emails, actually be able to see who clicked, and then call the people who clicked because you kind of know that they're hotter than the people that didn't click. But then if you have time, you call the people that didn't click. There's strategies to this. There's levels to this game, but you can't even be part of the game if you don't have a CRM. I don't care which one you use. They're all the same. Your office, they offer you one, take it. It's not better than some other one. They're all the same. If you got a free one, use it. Because there's 17 of you, I know for sure, that are going to spend the next 17 hours deciding on which CRM. I haven't done this for hundreds of agents. I'm close to hundreds of thousands of agents of conversations I've had, events I've done, stages I've spoke on. I already know what's going through your head. All I'm trying to do is get in front of that objection because I want you to take action so much. So the CRM, pick which one you want. Your podcast name, I'm going to give that to everybody today. See, what we figured out a long time ago with real estate agents, squeeze out all their fucking excuses. That's what we do really well. So here's your name of your show. It's called Your Name Show. My podcast name, Takhar Podcast. The show that I talked about, Laura's, miraculously, it's called The Laura Show. You know what? You know why? Because the time that you take that 17 hours to decide on the CRM that doesn't really matter, you could have done a lot of things and then adjusted along the way. You've got to get out of paralysis by analysis. Stop spending so much time in aiming to hit the target. Shoot, pull the trigger. Because then you can adjust along the way. You pull the trigger as much as possible, do an event, start a podcast, and then aim along the way. If you actually want to get into the 1% in this industry, okay, in the 1%, and again, I'm not here to impress you guys. My mom and dad filled up my cup a long time ago. It's why I wear this sweater. All they ever did was tell me that I'm enough. When all the teachers told me I'm not, when everyone wanted to tell me all the reasons I wasn't going to succeed in something, I said, son, you're enough. And so if you want to get to the 1%, you have to do what 99% of people don't do. And what that actually is they don't overthink. The 1%, we just don't overthink. We don't let the outside rhetoric affect our actual daily habits. Your daily habits as a realtor, you don't like people, get the fuck out of the business. It's a people business. You don't like making phone calls? God knows I need to do a little bit of the walking and a little bit more of the treadmill because I could lose a little bit of weight. So I know my best exercise to do that. I'll give you your best exercise as a salesperson. It's called picking up the phone and doing this. We gave you scripts. You don't want to sell pre-construction? That's okay. You want to call people and just pick up the phone and say, your name?
Eric.
Eric?
Yeah.
Hey, Eric. It's Takhar calling. How you doing today? Just curious, my man. Where's your headspace at with all this noise about the interest rates and everything? You start with an open-ended question. Where's your headspace at? What do you think? 5 best questions that you always need to, 5 words that you need, okay? When you ask questions, always. You want to get to a place where you're using as many of these 5 as much as possible. What, where, when, how, and why. How you doing today, Kat? And if she says no, she's weird. So you leave her. Got it? The problem that majority of you have, though, is because you're going to hold on to Kat because you don't have many people that you're speaking with. That's when we need to have principles of plenty. And that's why you need to get on content, because it's free. East Indian descent, my mother negotiates over fucking apples back home. I love the word free. You can put out videos and it costs you nothing. Nothing. Okay? That's how you build your database. For the ones that don't have a database, you got to go back to the office today. Do not let the next hour of Thursday happen. Don't, because that's what's been happening, right? The rest of the day, I got to get to the lead. I got a home inspection. I got a listing coming up next week. I got to do the photography, and I got to do all these things. Relax. All that shit will happen. Chill. Unless you're in an offer, it's the only thing that changes everything. You got a client who's putting in an offer, do it. Everything else can wait. But if it's not an offer, you can wait. Let's make sure we set this swimming pool of warm people up nice. Let's set this up. There's a reason, myself and Laura, we could have called our company Purple Cow. We ended up calling it From the Ground Up, because you have to build it with a strong, you have to build your business on a strong foundation. Your foundation has to be your CRM. Okay? It has to be your CRM, customer relationship management software. Because once you have that, now you can stay in touch. You can add new names. When you shoot a video, somebody likes the video, they maybe slide into your DMs and ask you a question. You can say, hey, I'm just curious, Kat, are you okay with me sending you other real estate like updates, my marketing? I really want to get your opinion on the marketing that I'm doing. When I have a 99.9% closing ratio on getting people into your database, instead of saying, hey, Eric, if you're thinking about buying and selling, what I want you to say is, Eric, can I just get your opinion on some of the marketing I'm doing? And if it gets too much and it gets spammy, just unsubscribe. No hurt feelings. I won't take it personal. You know why it's 99.9%? Because Eric, like every other human being, can't shut up about their opinions. Right? How was the movie last night? Oh my God, it was great. You shouldn't see it. It sucked. Whatever. How was the dinner? Oh, the restaurant sucks. Right? So we're innately as humans saying, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll give you my opinion. What is it, my email? Yeah. That's how you add names to the database. Okay? I'm going to take any questions from you guys because I got a timer that I'm probably going over. I will take your questions and try to reverse engineer whatever you're going through. Test me. I'm here. I'm in the business, as I mentioned. I want you to really understand that because you're going to get sold on shit by a lot of people outside of these walls from people that haven't done a deal in their life. Okay? So I'm trying to protect you from that. You're in the industry that allowed me to do a lot. I'm not talking about the real estate industry. I'm talking about the sales industry. It's the only thing I've ever done in my life. I knocked on a door at 6 years old for a Christmas ornament. I don't even celebrate Christmas, but like in that sense, and I fell in love with this industry. I loved people, and I never had another job in my life. At 12, I got paid the first time from selling newspapers. I thought I was going to sell newspapers my whole life. I was like, this is it. I'm knocking on doors since I've been 6. I love this shit. Like now somebody paid me for it? Okay. I then sold shoes, and not the Al Bundy type. Some of you might have got that one. Helping marathon runners and sprinters for 3 years. I went into the banking industry and sales and service for 3 years, and then I sold cars for 3 years, and now it's been real estate for 19. I mentioned the time frame for everybody because it wasn't like I was there for 3 months or a year. I hit the top of every single one of those industries. So I want you to get very, very selfish. You want to talk content, talk content. Whatever you want to go. You want to scale? I got 62 agents. I got 14 support staff. I know who you hire. I know how much you should pay. They're all full-time. Okay? You want to ask how much I pay people? Go anywhere you want to go. You can start now. Questions?
Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm going to go ladies first, and I apologize. I apologize. Nice try, though. And your name, sorry?
Me?
Yes.
Gurpreet.
Gurpreet.
Okay, so I officially got registered today as a real estate agent.
Hey, that's why she's still smiling, obviously. Good job, Gurpreet. Congratulations. You made an amazing decision joining this office, and I didn't get paid to say this, but we'll talk about that later. Why? Because I've had the liberty of going around a lot of offices. This is a fucking slick office. I got the tour by Kat. Like, it's slick in the way that it looks, so you got to show off this office a lot. Bring your people here. You know why? Because if there's prospects that are looking around with other agents, not everybody has this stuff. 10,000 square feet, showcase this. Sorry, Gurpreet.
How do you, when you're doing social media posts, like as a new person,
Yeah.
like what I'm nervous about is like not knowing really, like I'm doing my research, but like am I saying it correctly? Am I saying it wrong? Like how do you know where if you're going in the right direction?
Well, look, I think you're actually in the best situation as a new agent. And the reason is because my older agents in the room, people who've been in the business longer, we're not as curious anymore. We use jargon all the time. Make sure that you get, here's the DOM, for example, or, you know, we speak in jargon. Where you, as a new agent, you're naturally curious because you maybe don't know what you need to look for in a status report. I don't know if you do or if you don't, doesn't matter though, okay? You might not know how to actually, when Luke went through the refinancing, pull out equity, he did it fast, right? You're not comfortable with that, okay? And then there's a plethora of 50 million other things that you yet just don't know. That's the best case scenario because as you're curious, what I would want you to do is find those answers. Mr. and Mrs. Lawyer, I'm just curious, like what do you look for in a status report? Mr. and Mrs. Mortgage Broker, what the hell is a refinance? Is it better to do a refinance through a mortgage? Is it better to do a home equity line of credit? As you ask those questions to industry experts, people that you need to build a partnership with, side note, whoever you ask that question to, you take their name, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Mortgage Broker, are you okay to give me your opinion on the marketing I'm doing? Yeah, great. Add them into the database. Killing a couple of birds. I'm not into killing birds, by the way, but you kill a couple of birds with the same stone, okay? You record that, put that out. Your people who are watching, they don't give a shit where the education's coming from. They're just going to remember the person who delivered it to them. And then another funny thing starts to happen here, okay? This is the cross-pollination that happens. When people in your network are watching, they know, okay, Gurpreet's a little new, but there's something about Gurpreet that I just like. I like that she's putting out content consistently. You know, I vibe with her. You know, and the best thing is, I probably don't vibe with majority of people. They're like, fuck that Indian guy, crazy guy who's waving his hands all day long. I'm not dealing with him. That's great because you're not wasting any time with them. In your situation, it is the best place that you can be in because you're curious. I just need you to record those with people. You got to find out these answers anyways, right? So when you're finding out the answer, do not send an email to the mortgage broker. Partner up with a mortgage broker here in the office, easy, or if you have a family member or something that's a mortgage broker, and quickly, like, so what is mortgage? Like, how does a mortgage actually work, Kat? And then you have that conversation, post. That bring you value? Yeah?
Can I just add quickly to that too? The things that you're wondering about, your audience is wondering about.
Anytime somebody asks a question, scientifically now it's been proven, anytime somebody asks a question, it's reflective of 10,000 other people thinking it. Okay? That's why I want you guys to ask a lot of questions, because everybody else is thinking about it, but nobody wants to look stupid. Something that we got put into us as we've been kids, and so we got to change that. You got to ask questions, you especially because you're new, and you will win, I promise you, in a year, year and a half, as long as you have some patience, you will win with putting out that type of content. I promise you. It comes from a guy who puts out 10 to 15 videos a day. I figured this thing out. I'm not here to tell you I think this is a good idea, guys. You maybe should try it. I'm like, guys, I'm winning. Come win. I can't service all 6.6 million people in the GTA. There's no way. I can't get to everybody. I want to. I'm ambitious, but I'm not going to. So we all can eat. And then one day, you're going to say, it was that talk. There's a bunch here, so I'm going to keep on kind of going down. I apologize. Let me go to our boy here.
What is your name, but I got it.
You got my name? That's important. And your name, sorry?
Deb,
Deb.
you may have just answered it, sort of, but is there a sweet spot of how many videos to post? This is like a conversation that happens a lot.
Yeah, more is more. This is
Yeah,
more is more, period. This is not staging a house. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, get rid of all the toothpaste and all the toothbrushes and declutter your home because less is more. No, more is more. The question I always follow up with the question, Deb, is it better to do 14 push-ups or 6?
That's fair.
How many? More. Right? Great, even more. As much as you humanly possibly can handle. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videographers and editors full time. I spend a little over, Laura, what's our number now? 350 grand or something? Yeah. $350,000 a year on my content. Okay? Figured it out. But that some way, somehow turns me a little over $5 million every single year. So it's worth the ROI. I just decided I'm not going to put up on social, just listed, just sold, or my fucking awards that nobody cares about. My mom does. She loves that shit. My son is doing this. She loves that stuff. But nobody cares about your awards. It's good for office stuff in here. Nobody cares about your awards. They hate us already. Now you're going out there and telling people how much money you make? We're a necessary evil, guys. It's why you should do content, let people get a feel for you, because they don't need us anyways. They can just YouTube how to sell a home. I don't know who told you that a real estate agent's needed. By law, we are not needed in the process of buying and selling. Agreed? But there's some reasons why buyers and sellers and investors should possibly use us, though. And you know all the 57 things because I'm sure your office tells you, and that's important. But they don't need us. They can just go directly to a lawyer and do their thing. Moreover, in 2023, now all the content's out there. So everything back in the 80s that we held close to our chest, which was the data, what's listed, all that nonsense, it's out there now. So why don't you become the one that builds the authority, not for the world, try to be the next Kim Kardashian. That's not what I'm talking about either. Just with your network of 200 people. If you have a database of 200 people, you could do a lot of damage. Let me explain really quickly. 200 people that know 200 people that know 200 people, because the average person knows 200 people. Unless you just unless you just landed in this city, maybe you might not know 200 people here. Reach out to me, I'll tell you how to still build out your database. But the average person right now on their phones, right here, has 200 names. It's a stat, okay? But if 200 people know 200 people that know 200 people that know 200 people, your network now is 40,000 people. What you're trying to do is say, okay, I need to do hundreds of deals, or I want to do hundreds of deals. You're going to miss the car giveaway, girl. I'll see you next Monday. What I want everybody to focus on, if you know 200 people that know 200 people, you have a network of 40,000, I need you to just focus on doing 50 deals. In our market, 50 deals is a beautiful, nice round number of $1 million business, right? $20,000 GCI gross, 50 deals, okay? You need 50 people. Shit, that's a lot. Well, let's think about the numbers for a second. Safe to say 2023, my prediction, I'm on camera, I think we're gonna do about 70,000 sales this year. That's my number that I'm working with, okay? But the beautiful thing in our business is we get paid on two ends, possibly, a buyer and a seller. So the 70,000 really turns into 140,000. Let's throw in about 20,000 pre-construction on the low end. That's 160,000 transactions that are gonna happen that you can possibly get paid on, and I'm just telling you to find 50 of them. We gotta dumb it down a little bit, okay? And I had to dumb it down because I'm not that smart. So I had to figure this out, and that's how I figured it out. Then I said, 50 deals, I'd knock that off myself. How about I start getting paid on a bit more? Shit, I hate getting on the horse every single year on January 1st and finding buyers and sellers. Who are the people that love buying more? Investors. Change the game completely, completely. Because they came to me now. What do you got next, Jazz? I felt like a drug dealer. Like, you got the good, man? You got the goods?
I have that question for you.
I got your question, right, Deb? I go off on tangents, as you guys know, but
Yeah,
good.
what I was actually thinking is...
What's your name, sorry?
Patricia.
Patricia.
So when we're having a client, we, at least in my perception,
Yeah.
I want to put kind of a lot of attention and a lot of care and a lot of, like, to be cautious in every way and help them, blah, blah, blah. So if I am into the focus of getting a lot of numbers, am I delivering this quality of service that everyone deserves? How is humanly possible if you are having a lot of transactions? How
Get help.
How, yeah,
Get
I
help.
Need to know, no, but I need to know in your experience.
I got help.
Oh. So become a broker and get little sales?
Just bring on people that can do the work that you don't want to do. You want to know the actual two jobs of a real estate agent? This is for real. Okay? This is what I want you guys to focus on. You want to be in the 1%? Here's what we do. Two things. Okay? You need to meet as many people as you possibly can online and in person. Job number one, the most important. Job number two is help them buy, sell, and invest. Okay? The second you start doing, the second you start to do too much, everything in between these two things, you're meeting them online and in person, you're helping them buy, sell, and invest, everything in between these two things, you delegate. And I know you all have a problem with that because you think you're the best MLS printer in the world. I can't give this out to anybody. I press Control P or Command P better than everybody. I can't tell somebody to call and book an appointment at the other Century 21 office. I'm the best at it. I can lick this stamp better than anybody. Figure it out. Give it to somebody else. Around 30 transactions. Want to know the number? You hit 30 transactions, I strongly implore you get an admin. I personally, at the start, did do transaction coordinator. I now know more. I wouldn't do a transaction coordinator. I would do an executive assistant. The executive assistant can be your transaction coordinator. You don't need a licensed transaction coordinator, but I also believe that I'm not the best at putting in gas in my car. Okay? So somebody else can handle that for me. I didn't book all this stuff that was working with Kat. Somebody else handled all that. I need to show up and do what I do best. That's my job. Okay? So delegate everything at the start. I get it. I'm not stupid. I understand you're like, where the fuck the money gonna come from? Right? Get your ass off your seat and get to 30 deals as quickly as possible. 30 deals times 20, 600K. You can afford a $50,000 person who takes rid of all the posting for you, prints all the listings, calls your client. Hey, Joe, I know you're meeting with Jazz tomorrow. I just wanted to confirm, is 6 p.m. still good? Yeah, awesome. Hey, Joe, I just wanted to also let you know now that I have you quickly on the phone, we couriered a package to you. Did you get it? You did? Awesome. Did you have any questions? No, not right now. Do me a favor, so Jazz doesn't waste your time when he comes over. Can you just make sure you jot some questions down? If there's any problem, Joe, please do not hesitate to call me directly. My name is Ro, and my number is 967-1111. Call me. How's that for service?
I love it.
Yeah, I know you would. I've done it a couple of times. It's just experience. That's it. The only difference between me and anybody else here, I'm telling you guys, the only reason I got out of high school is because they pushed me out of the system as quickly as possible. That's what they do. They needed me out, churned me out. It's the only reason I passed. And I had a little bit of charisma with the secretaries and the teachers. I'm sure that helped. So I'm not educated in like business from a formal perspective. Okay? The only difference between me and everybody else in this room, and everybody who's watching right now, is the fact that I just do. And I make a big mess, and I've realized, okay, I'm at a place now in my life, somebody else will clean it up. But up until when it wasn't, it was like, this worked, I'm gonna do more of this. This didn't work, I'm not gonna do that. So you have to actually do, and that's where the experience comes from, and the confidence comes from. Eric.
So a selfish question. So about
Thank
the
you.
video. So we started doing the video since like a year or 2 years ago, right?
You started doing videos 2 years ago, is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And so my challenge is how to convert the cold lead from
Yeah.
the video, because you're doing the video, you didn't see the people, right? They see you, but you didn't see them.
Yeah.
So those cold lead,
Yeah.
how to convert to warm lead. Sometimes, for example, my challenge is, set up a time, they didn't show up, set a second time, they didn't show up, keep pushing, and then,
Don't convince, sort.
yeah.
Don't convince, sort. So that's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
So you're doing a cold video, and then let's really play together.
Yeah.
So you're doing a cold video, somebody reaches out to you. Are they reaching out?
Yeah, they
Well, that's
reach out.
fantastic.
So they say, I have a question about this.
What's your question? Eric, I'm just wondering, what's up? Hey, Eric, it's Jazz. You watched my video yesterday?
No, they didn't even call you. They just leave a message, right?
Oh,
So
where?
yeah.
On my cell phone?
Yeah, no, maybe on social media or whatever.
Sure, and what's the message say?
They say, okay, I have a question, on this area. Can
Awesome.
you help me? I say, okay, set up, for example, set up time.
Yeah.
Didn't show up.
And they don't show up.
Yeah, and set a second time,
So you have nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
Move on.
Okay. So your time is just
Move on.
yeah.
Here's my 3-bucket sorting system. Okay? So the first bucket, when you're talking to a lead like that, when you're talking to any lead, here's how you sort them. Okay? Number 1, when you speak to him, what I'm looking at and thinking about is he going into my first bucket. That first bucket is someone who wants to act right now, financially qualified, has realistic expectations. They go into that bucket. Bucket number 2 is somebody who might not be ready right now to do business, but they want me to follow up. And that's a word that everybody should brainwash themselves with. It's called follow up, where all the money is. The money is in the follow up. The average client needs to be followed up by 17 times average. That means you might need to follow up with somebody 34 times before they do a deal. Okay? Gurpreet, you need to really know that. Okay? Because this business is not $1 million listing LA or New York. That's not what this business is, or selling Sunset. Okay? This is not the business. Okay? This business is following up. So, this person, and then my 3rd bucket is called garbage. I reached out 3 times. They didn't reach out, move on. That's called sorting and not convincing. Okay? Ready to act now, bucket 1. Not ready right now, but they want me to follow up. They're nice people, they're great, they're just not ready. You follow up, you ask them, can I have your permission to follow up? Alex, yes? Awesome, I'll follow up with you in the next 6 months. Okay? Most of you are putting that out on a napkin. That's why I said you need some type of CRM to remind you. Bing, call them. Hey, Eric, you told me to follow up in 6 months. I know it's only been 3, Side note, always cut everything in half, whatever someone says to you. I just want to make sure you're still on that timeline in 3 months from now. You are? Awesome. I'll follow up once again. Okay? If he doesn't pick up his phone, we delete him. And here's how you remember this. Okay? You got to come to understand. It's exactly what I'm doing right now with you guys, real time. Okay? I know that some of you will like me, some of you won't. So what? When I'm talking to clients, I just have come to understand in all my years in sales and service, I've come to understand. Some will, some won't. So what? You gotta move on. Because the time you're spending with Kat, you're missing out on Eric's. I think she's way better, so it's the other way around. You get what I'm saying? You're wasting so much time on people that don't really want to do business with you. It's why I know you're scared. I know why you don't call your database. I know why you don't call your family. I know why you don't call your friends, because you don't want to look needy. But those are the people that already know you. They possibly like you, and they might even trust you. But they know you, so you checked off at least on one of the boxes. And chances are you'll probably check off on the others. Start with your database, with the sphere of influence. You guys have all heard these words. It's not sexy. I know I got a little bit of style to me, and I can come up here and talk, and I get that, but I'm really not giving you something that you don't know already. I hope by me coming here and talking to you, it's another reminder. If the idiot up there, me, could do it, that means, okay, I can probably do it as well. Okay, so it's really calling at the start the people that you already are on your phone already. Okay? There's a bunch of others. I'll take another. This one right? You, sorry, yeah. Mary Kay.
Yes. When you were talking about doing the education components, are you guys finding it better to do in person, online?
Yeah, 100% in person. 100%. Yes. The next one is to do Zoom, but the reason you want to do in person is because that's where the belly-to-belly happens. That's where you get to meet people, right? The event, actually, the topics, Laura did an awesome job in telling you, like, which topics. The topics don't even really matter. Really? I'll tell you why, because you know where everything happens. So, like, I've only been into this office today. It's my first time, but I can already tell how I would play this out, right? Like, you're going to do this exact setting for your clients. Everyone's from this office? Okay, good. So, you do it in this office right here. The same setting, okay? Laura said the high stools, those will look great here. But you know where most of the stuff's gonna happen? Back there. Not even, like in this aisle here. And then I think that was your reception desk over there. That's where everything's gonna happen. Because that's where the real talk comes from. Like, Eric, like, I've been really wanting to invest, or I really wanted to, sell my home. And those conversations happen. Unfortunately, Zoom's a little tough for that to happen, okay? It has to be in person. Guys, I've helped thousands of agents now. Specifically in the last 6 months, I think we've helped a little over 140 agents put on events. Every single one of them, not a certain percent, all of them, out of the 140 agents, it was 140 that we've done. Every single one of them, that was their first event. Okay? I have chat groups with people, and they're all showing me that 18 people showed up, 22 people showed up. They were so scared. I get where you're sitting when I say do an in-person event. But after the first one that you do, it's like, okay, I could have done this better, I could have done this better, and that's great. But you just got to do that first one.
That's like when you go do your first listen presentation.
No different.
You learn what worked, what didn't work.
No different. There's a question in the back. Question here somewhere?
You answered that.
Awesome.
I'm Shafak.
Shafak?
Shafak, yes. So I've done a few pre-constructions, and that is something that I want to build in future. Two issues that I foresee and have is one, when you put in a worksheet, you don't always get a unit. So how to go about that? And secondly, pre-approval letters.
Number one, in terms of how to get around that, especially in today's market right now, builders are throwing everything at you to do deals. And so, because I've been doing pre-construction for 10 years, I've been through a lot of markets with them, okay? So we just went through a market with them where they thought their you-know-what doesn't smell, and they just treated me like shit too. And I'm one of the top brokers in that field, okay? But last month, conversations are a little different. Hey, Jazz, you want me to fly you to Dubai? Hey, Jazz, you want me to fly you here? I'm like, take it easy with flying me anywhere. Just pay me on the deals that you owe me first. And let me see what you have. Conversations are different, so what everybody should do, like you gotta do 10, guys. The 10 pre-construction that I'm telling you to do, your clients are already buying them, they're just not buying them with you. I get the calls all the time. All the time. I have an agent who helps me with this, but yeah, I'm going pre-construction with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna be like, who's your agent? Let me help them. I'm like, come on over, let me close you, let's go. You know what I mean? You're under no buyer agency or anything? No, let's go. So your clients are buying them. How do you get over your worksheet knot? Right now, it's just a different market. I want you to, blinders on. There's a reason why on horse races, the horses have blinders so they don't get distracted by anyone else. Right now, the market's changed. You can get units anywhere. When I said I want you guys to do 10, go to the sales offices, okay? Go to the sales offices. If you work, like it doesn't matter. You live here and you want to do downtown Toronto, Google it, what sales, what projects are happening, okay? And then go to the sales offices, start to get educated about it, build a little bit of a relationship with Kat, the salesperson there that's heading the project, okay? Get your worksheets in, you will get them taken care of. Now, you might have put a worksheet in for a 1-bedroom, but I got news for you. We all want our clients to have a 1-bedroom because it's the entry level to get in, it's cheap, and that's what clients want. Get good and understand why a 2-bedroom might be possibly better from an investment perspective. Because I can tell you, if you look at, since condos came out in the 1980s, if you look at what appreciates the most, it's 2-bedroom condos. You need to know that so you can educate your investor. Okay? Listen to this pre-construction masterclass, it will change your mind. You're gonna wanna buy a condo from me. That's what people tell me all the time. In fact, my clients can't even buy a condo, for real. They're not allowed to go into contract with us for the first time unless they watch that video. Why? Because in Ontario, you know it as a 10-day cooling period. Side note, we call it a 10-day due diligence period. I'm not gonna psychologically give people reasons to cool off. It's due diligence, Mr. and Mrs. Investor, just to cross some T's, dot some I's. We need to make sure that they know what they're getting themselves into, so they have to watch this whole video. In terms of pre-approvals, I personally generally only work with builders now that only need a pre-approval from a mortgage broker. The ones that need it from a bank, I tell the client, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, you gotta go to the bank. You gotta get this approved. They're not giving it to me. Don't buy the condo, we'll wait. It's okay. You gotta think about lifetime value of a client, right? The lifetime value of a client is probably close to $250,000 to $300,000 all day long, because the people that they're going to introduce you to. There's another question. I answered both, by the way, right? Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
Luke was talking before about vetting the builders.
Yes. Yeah, a couple of ways. So, I'll give you some builders right off the top of my head, but please, don't quote me on this stuff. But these are some of the builders that they're just the top in the city, right? And really in the country. So you have your Tridells of the world, you have your Daniels of the world, you have Green Park, you have Marlin Spring. Laura, Luke, please. Emblem is fantastic right now in Hamilton and all over the place. Actually, I'm going to an event tonight.
And this is great, this is your experience, but
Yeah.
you're newer
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna-
business and you're like, okay, so
Yeah.
there's Tridell. How do I know if Tridell is?
Great question. So what you want to do is go on their website, see how many things they've built. Okay, so let's see how much they've actually built. Okay, then go on to MLS and search. What you could do in the as a flex search, okay, is search Emblem built, for example, Tridell built. In the flex search, all the buildings that have that in the comments will come up. Go take a look at those buildings. Just take a quick drive-by and go inside. See how the fit and finishes are. Don't, in my opinion, I'm not telling you what to do, but just my opinion, I wouldn't sell a condo of a builder that it's the first time that they're doing it. We don't want to be used as, you don't want your clients to be used as the guinea pigs, right? So don't touch that one, right? And so the easiest way is to find out, go on the website, there, and you'll see, like, you'll go on their website, but even if you just Google their name, you'll see threads of people saying, now, be very careful as well, because some of them are like, oh my God, a nail popped. What? Like, what are you talking about? Or they didn't come fix my nail popping for 5 months. That's not a big deal. There was a flood in the building and nobody fixed it. Big deal, right? Like, that's big. Or they canceled 6 projects. Okay, like, these guys are up to something, right? But that's why I would rather, and once you go down the rabbit hole of going to one sales office, guys, I promise you, it opens up your eyes to get all the information on the other. It just starts coming to you. Because you're going to sit with a salesperson at the sales office, and it's going to be done by Tridel, and you can even ask them that question, like, why Tridel? And they're, salespeople, they're going to tell you all the awesome points about why Tridel, and that's another way to get educated on it.
I just also wanted to reiterate, so again, guys, because I know a lot of our agents come to Kat and I and say, I want to do pre-construction, I want to
Yeah.
do pre-construction.
Yeah.
But then they ask us, well, how do I
So I'll
find
give you,
builders? But you kind of touched on it earlier, right? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta go to the sales offices,
Here's-
go meet them.
100%. Now, I'm not here to sell you guys something, but I can tell you if you want allocation and you want to help, you normally get paid 4%, okay? We offer, you'll get 3%, we hold 1%, okay? I don't think I'm overstepping my boundaries, ladies, by that. Like, they get paid 3%, we get paid 1%, and we can help sometimes with the allocation. To get that, what's the best, Laura? Email us somewhere, info at
REC Canada.
You want to go down that route? Is that the easiest way to email us? Right? Yeah?
Connect them with the other.
Okay, perfect. So just email info@reccanada.com and say, I'm looking, I heard Jazz speak, and I want the allocation for units. We don't get allocation in all of them, so I'm not promising you anything, but we can start to figure something out if that's what you want. I personally, I would go to the sales office, build your own relationships. I did it from the ground up. That's the strongest thing to do.
So most builders will be cooperating.
High rise, 100% will cooperate.
So we were at the Buzz conference, and we had gone the first time, and there was, I can't remember who the group was, they were downtown, and they did this great presentation and talking about the building, and then someone asked, well, what do you cooperate, like, what's the percentage? They're like, oh, we're not cooperating.
I'm
Why
not.
did you bring them to the Buzz conference where
Yeah.
it's all agents?
So I've never even. I've personally, in all my, yeah, in my whole. I've never been through that, so I just want to make sure. I've never seen that. Low rise, you see it all the time, because the Madamies of the world don't need you to sell a detached home in Oakville, like, they just send it out to the a high rise. I've never.
Condos, right, Amanda? I'm pretty sure
It
it
was,
was
it was
condos
absolutely
downtown.
like a whole high-rise. I don't remember.
No, right downtown, like Yorkville,
It
like
was in
Toronto.
It was in Toronto.
Yeah,
I'll try to figure it out. It was last year in January.
I erased them from my brain. So.
Yeah, that's you're not going to come across it, especially in today's market right now. I'll take 2 more questions, guys, because I'm having fun with you. And if there's no, yes, go.
My name's Bella.
Bella?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, just as a new agent, like when you started, and what do you do differently in today's environment now?
I would do a podcast because your voice is beautiful and your accent's awesome.
Thank you so much.
So I would definitely start a podcast.
So talk how you really talk.
100%. I would start a podcast.
Okay.
Start a podcast. Shoot content every single day. A video every single day. Who's on Instagram? Put up your hand. Okay, take out your phones. Let me do this really quickly with you. No. Everybody go to Instagram. Okay. And I'm being on, like, because you guys did hurt my feelings that only 3 of you followed me, so we're going to change some stuff. Okay, but I'm going to give you real resources, and I'm not kidding, okay? I'm going to give you permission for something. Everybody did the scanning, smart on you. But here's something that's practical, and you can use it right away today, okay? First things first, type in Laura Stewart Teo. I'll tell you why in a second. It's not to boost her ego, but I'll tell you why. Laura.
S-T-E-W or S-T-U-A-R?
S-T-E-W-A-R-T. You still have the funny hat picture thingamajizer? Okay, good. Follow Laura, and I'll tell you why. Everybody press follow. She's crazy enough. Laura, Laura, Stewart, T-O, T-O for Toronto, okay? And the reason you want to do that is because every single day, 5 out of the 7 days, for some reason she thinks she's okay to take weekends off, she puts out a video topic that you should shoot that day. You as a real estate agent, so it's called the Realtor Video Topic of the Day. She will give you a video topic every single day. Okay? I also now want you to follow me because I want you to steal any video that you see of mine. It's Jazz Takhar 13. And I am not sitting at home laughing at you like, ha ha ha, they stole my video. I'm telling you that it's not ripping me off if I'm telling you to do it. A video resonates. We as the content creators in our city and country, we share ideas all the time. Come collaborate with us. Meaning, take our video ideas and shoot the video. Guys, like, there's 3 ways to sell a home, or whatever it is, I don't know, right? Here's the best investment opportunity, best investment strategy, okay? I'll do a video like that, and then I want you to take it, okay? I also think that you need to partner up with each other here in this office. Be smart and do this together, just like a buddy. And one person holds the camera for the other person. Okay? It's very simple. You want me to show you how it's done? Would you guys think, would that be valuable for you? Elto?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about in this video.
I have to go, but you are a fantastic speaker.
Thank you so much. Can I keep you in my pocket for my ego, bro? I'll shoot a video on the 4 investment strategies, okay? That's what we do. I have a whole team, okay? But I was a little tired of people thinking that is my team doing everything, okay? That's for my other content. That's for keynotes like this and talks like this. But Laura and I do this probably once every day, okay? And she sucks as a camera person, and I'm even worse as a camera person. But I also come to realize, for everybody who doesn't have a team, the more raw, the better. When it's all done up with graphics and fanciness, it starts to smell like a marketing video. Nobody wants to be marketed to. We want to be educated and informed. The best way to do that is this. Laura's going to hold the camera. She's going to nod her head. That tells me that it's recording on her end. At around 50 seconds, if I can't stop jibber-jabbering, she's going to give me a fist like this that tells me, Jazz, you have 10 seconds. Shut up in 10. Wrap up your thought. The hardest thing when you're starting doing videos is the start of the video. How do I start it? Maybe spend 5 seconds on that.
Don't say, hey, guys.
Do not start with, hey, guys. Why? Because that's wasting time. You got 3 to 7 seconds to get people's attention. Okay? The other thing is, you don't need to say, hi, it's Jazz Takhar. They're on the fucking profile. They know it's Jazz Takhar. Okay? And then you kind of want to know in the back of your head, how do you end the video? Okay? So I've kind of done this a few times. I'm a little bit more comfortable than the average bear. And so what's going to happen is I sometimes screw these things up too. I generally keep my ums and ahs. Because how many ums and ahs did all of us do today? If I did my first and said, shit, I got to be back, guys. I got to start over again because I said an you'd be like, what drug is this guy on? It's so weird. Like, why is he coming to us with a script? I think you enjoyed it a little bit more because you know this wasn't scripted. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about when I come up on stage. I feel the room. She knows this. They all know this. It's all kind of fell out. There's newer agents. Let me beat down the database, talk with them. That's kind of where our videos go now. Cool?
And don't end your videos with, want more information?
Great point. Thank you, Laura. Why?
Because that's what every real estate agent does, and your audience is expecting it. They're like, oh, here goes another real estate agent looking to sell me. They're always asking for
a call to action. That's what everyone does. Just give away the information. They're not going to do anything with it anyways. It's not like they're like, oh, thank you so much for telling me what my closing costs. Now I'm going to go buy a home on my own. I don't need you. They're going to need you. So just give the information and then just end it. Don't
I know
say,
that's hard.
"Call me."
I know that's hard because you guys are all in your marketing department here at the office telling them with their, please put my picture bigger than the house. Please make sure to say, call me now, because they learn, it's past that shit now. You can't be always, call me now, call me now, call me now, right? You got to give the education, give the education, give the education. When you're trying to pick somebody up maybe at the bar, it's probably generally a good idea to wine them a little, dine them a little. Instead of saying, meet me in room 312 tonight. She'd be like, you creep, you just walked in and just passed me your hotel card? That's weird. I have a not 100% chance of possibly getting her to the room if I wine and dine a little, but I might have a better chance. And I hope I didn't cross any lines because I was just having fun with everybody. Okay. What am I doing? 4 ways? No, 4 types of investment strategies. Or, yeah.
Okay.
If you're looking into investing, you'd probably want to consider these 4 types of investment strategies. Number 1 is pre-construction condos. Why? Because it's quite passive. It's actually pretty boring. It's like watching paint dry. You put down a deposit and you actually have 3 to 4 years to put those deposits in installments. Number 2 is an income property. We all know those. I call it my Brampton special for my paisans, my Indian paisans. You have a home upstairs and a home downstairs. Number 3 is student housing. Great for cash flow, but just know managing those type of properties are tough. And number 4 is actually investing your RRSPs. Not the first time home buyer stuff. I'm actually saying investing your RRSPs, your registered funds, into real estate. That's it. Why are you guys giving me a blank stare? You know what I mean? Like, I'm 12,000 hours of video, guys. 12,000 hours of video content I have. Just a little further along the journey. That's all. That's all. Thank you, Deb. It's all good, girl. Don't worry. I can still see you leave, though. One more question, and then I got to get my team back on the phones.
I have one more, if nobody else has one, because I get this a lot from these guys.
Yeah.
So for newer agents especially, so they're gonna do all this video, they're gonna post all this content, but what happens if they don't have a lot of followers? They don't have 6 people following, they have 3 people on Instagram.
Great. Everybody started at 0, actually, worse than 3. Everybody, I'll take yours in a sec. Everybody starts at 0. So you have 3 followers? It's more than 0. Okay? The way that you actually build your followership is not through nonsense of buying followers. Anybody who DMs you and says, I can get you more followers, okay, stay away, because they're just going to buy you. That's nonsense. You build it from the ground up properly. And the way you do that is you put a video out, and I'm not asking you guys to put out 10 videos a day. Okay? I'm asking you to put out a video every day for 100 days. Don't look at the views. Don't look at the likes. Somebody comments, you comment back. For 100 days, put out 1 video a day. And then we can get a little bit more snazzy. We can have more conversations. But 100 videos, a video every single day. The followers of the people that like the way that you talk will start to follow you. That's what happens. I put up that video, somebody's going to share it, and then I pick up a follower. Great. Those are all vanity numbers. Followers, views, and likes. All vanity numbers. Okay? I need you to focus on what's going to start to happen offline. Somebody said it to me today. I think it was you, my friend. Okay? He said to me, big fan. I watch you on social. That's what's going to start to happen with your clients. You're going to go to a listing, or you're going to call them. I promise you this. It's weird, but it's going to happen. After a year of you doing a podcast and you sending them the YouTube link of the video, this is what's going to happen. You're going to call them. They're going to say, oh, my God, this is so weird. I'm watching you on TV right now, and you're calling me. How nice is that they pick up your phone? Okay? That happens over time. One last question, then we're out.
So does it matter if it's a post real story? And also, is it okay to post the same stuff on Insta and TikTok?
Yes, for the first time ever in 2023, all platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, okay? And that's not in particular order because YouTube Shorts is probably number one right now, okay? First time ever, all of them take vertical videos and they all want them to be 90 seconds and less, okay? That was your second question. Your first question, I completely forgot. Yeah, so if I were you, I would put everything into your actual reels. All the platforms, they want video. They all want video. Okay? And I'm going to leave everybody with this, because the talk kind of shifted to content. At some point, we were all lied to, all of us. And they told us that practice makes bullshit. Practice makes progress. But what's even better than perfect is done. Done is better than perfect. And by you practicing every single day, you will never hit perfection. It doesn't exist. But you will progress and get better. My name's Takhar, and that was my TED Talk. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.